Greetings, friends, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Remy Wins a Lot Show. Last time on our first E3 2017 special, we took a look at Microsoft, and this week we're about to talk about Sony. I'm joined again this week by Nathan and Pat, and they're kind enough to, well, discuss our predictions for what hopefully Sony will bring to their stage on E3 2017. So, I think Sony's doing pretty well right now. In fact, I'd say they're doing incredibly well right now.
They're sitting on a throne made of PS4 boxes as they ship them out at high velocity to everyone that wants one.
Yeah, they're dominating a lot of sales charts. They've released a ton of killer apps just recently. They've had a really dynamite start to 2017. They've got all the exclusive content wrapped up. They've got all the DLC coming first for Call of Duty, Destiny, all the big shooters and stuff. And last year they had an incredibly solid presence at E3, I would say.
It's gonna be hard to top.
So
Especially
how
since none of those games came out yet.
That's a good point and a fair thing. I think that is a criticism because Sony did such an incredible job last year. How do they walk into 2017 knowing that they're showing a lot of the same games?
They better wow us with those trailers.
It's not even trailers at this point. They showed us trailers last year. People are going to demand gameplay.
I mean, to be fair, the God of War trailer was straight gameplay.
Oh, that
was wow.
Yeah, that was
the
definitely
one
captured
that
right
I want
there.
to see gameplay for, because that's going to determine the whole game's sales, is going to be Spider-Man. Because that looks so good as a trailer.
Yes.
But if you can't play that game, it doesn't just feel right.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
The trailer last year was really wowing, and I think a lot of Sony's presentation was really wowing. I think they got a little muddled last year with the PlayStation 4 Pro. I think the Pro's off to a good start, though. It seems to be moving units pretty successfully. I don't have sales figures for that. It's kind of tough to find, actually. Other than we know Sony is quite a bit ahead in the console market at the moment.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of the same stuff of last year. How do you go into a show knowing that? We've seen Nintendo attempt to do it and not work out very well. We've seen a lot of companies kind of tread that similar water, and we've seen games over and over. How do you keep the hype train rolling, especially when you're going against Microsoft and a new console in a lot of ways, in the 0.5 generation?
Nintendo Switch, a new console that's doing incredibly
well.
well.
Yeah. So you've got pretty much the hype concentrated on all this new hardware. You're Sony. You have a list of games that you showed off last year. What do you do this year?
I think you got two options. Number one, you can give us a lot of gameplay, a lot of information about how good these are going to look to push your sales figures for this year. Or you do what I would say is the dumber option, and instead of don't even touch those games because you've shown them already, go for next year. Like they did last year, and blow it out of the water for next year's games, but then you're in the same boat the next year.
Yeah, I think something to note there, though, is I think a lot of the successes Sony has seen didn't get stage presence at E3 2016, you know.
Persona, I don't think I saw it.
Persona, Neo?
Neo wasn't.
Nier was a blip, I think, in a highlight. I mean, it's just like, okay.
I don't remember.
No, Nier might have been a blip on Square Enix's thing, not even on Sony.
So you got to think, like, does Sony look at the success of those smaller games and take the stage with those? With some new stuff for all the new big games?
Well, that's the reason to own Sony right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to approach E3. I worry about the hype levels just being too overwhelming.
I think the only game we saw last year at E3 that's out so far, I might be a little wrong just because it's been a year.
Yeah.
But I think it's Horizon. And that did fantastic,
But that was also Horizon's second appearance at a show.
Yeah.
And it was, and that's the thing, how many years can we see some of these games at these shows? I mean...
most of them will be number 2.
Most of them will be number 2, some of them 3, some of them a lot more than that. And I think that's a really big curse for Sony because, like I said, you're going against an E3 with 2 new pieces of hardware. Nintendo is about to possibly break your 6-month record on fastest moving console at launch.
Very soon.
They're outpacing the PlayStation 4 sales at launch, which is terrifying. The Switch is good. You guys know how I feel about the Switch.
We'll have a whole thing about that.
The Switch is a great piece of hardware. It's lacking software, but you have this machine chugging right now, right out of the gate, and Microsoft's got to look at it. They got Scorpio in their back pocket. They're like, system.
Yeah, but it's...
Sony doesn't have a system.
But Sony's put the Scorpio behind them with the Pro. Like, they've put out their system. It's going to be less performing.
Was that a mistake?
Honestly, I would say
worked out for Microsoft with the 360 getting out a year earlier.
that year head advantage. But the Scorpio is a more powerful machine than the PS4 Pro.
I'd say it's not, just for the reason that...
Well, technically so is the PS3.
Yeah, unless the Scorpio comes out and blows everyone out of the water, and Microsoft just makes that machine look fantastic, but they'd have to spend their whole E3 presentation doing that, which isn't going to help their game sales now or anything.
So yeah, I think we can then agree that it's a tough show for Sony this year. I think a tougher show than they're probably used to. They've got some great games to show, though. We're talking like it's a bad thing, and I think it is a little bit in the fact that we have games repeating its show, at this point. But there are some great games. Sony showed off some heart stoppers last year, and we didn't get a chance to play.
Oh my goodness, God of War! That was one of the coolest trailers I've ever seen in an E3.
Excuse me, I need to go pull that up on my phone, and I'll be back from the bathroom in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's one of those trailers. The new Uncharted looks great. I like Uncharted a little bit. Yeah, so seeing an adventure with Chloe, definitely don't mind that. And I think Days Gone, is another game that a lot of people really remember from last year.
I'm not a zombie fan, but that game
looks cool.
Awesome.
That
I like
is
the
definitely
physics.
one that's going to be good on the Pro, and that's going to be one to show it off on, because
I think so too.
Just the amount that it's going to require, that Pro could be the kicker.
So you got a lot of Western developers clicking too, and I think something that's really helped Sony, especially at the start of this year so far, significantly. Japanese developers seem to be firing again.
Oh God, yeah.
They're kind of back to it. I think we experienced a really kind of blah last several years of Japanese developed games.
But the beginning of this year,
bam.
Neo, Nier, Persona.
I'm really excited to see what catches us off guard, because we're not prepared for it. Because we really haven't thought about Japanese development. And when was the last game besides Final Fantasy that was really talked about on the main stage?
Dark Souls, maybe.
That's but it's not a Japanese style game. Dark Souls is
a Western style game.
It's a Western exactly, but I'm talking about we're seeing really Japanese games.
Persona 4?
Persona 5 and stuff is that game
embodies
Japan.
E3,
Yeah, they didn't show it at E3, but because that success, do we see them at E3 a little bit more? Do they have more of a presence? Do we see Dragon Quest 11 on stage?
With what it is, I think
that a thing?
I don't know if it's what's going to be, because I know there's some of the Dragon Quest stuff lately has been being looked at for Switch 2.
Well, Dragon Quest 11 is also confirmed for Switch.
So it might be a Square Enix published title for their release.
Yeah, maybe their press conference, but
if Sony wants to capitalize on this is the time. You've got Persona 5 selling gangbusters for what you'd expect.
Doing really well, compared to I think their projections. So.
Let alone, how hard is it on launch to buy Neo?
Yeah,
well, that was a game that
Nier is another game. It's been tough to come across a lot of these games. That's for sure.
They're starting to circulate back out now. It's been a few months, but.
Yeah, we're talking about early in the year, though. I mean,
when they released...
I didn't expect 2017 to start off with, this boom of Japanese games again, and I'm hoping we see more.
And good ones. I don't think any of them hit below 9.5. 9.25, I think was...
There's some jerks on Metacritic that took them down to, an 8 and some change. I don't think Nier hung out nearly as high as it started, unfortunately. So.
Yeah.
It's one of those curses. People will be jerks like that. So, but yeah, any Japanese games you would like to see in particular? Anything that's going to catch you off guard that's super... are we going to see, Yakuza or something?
Well, Yakuza 0 was great.
Yeah, we just got a Yakuza, so I'm trying to think of
There's not much. There's just new Persona. It's probably going to be another 10 years if we ever get another Persona.
It's going to be a while.
Yeah, and
the next SMT game is on Switch, and we know that.
Yeah.
But what else? For as far as RPGs like that, Japanese developers. We have the Fighters. Ni no Kuni, yes.
Oh my God, Ni no Kuni 2. They could show that. That would.
Ni no Kuni 2 is going to be real good.
Well, when I saw the Ni no Kuni 2 trailer, I was blown away.
Yeah, it's a dynamite game.
The thing is,
it's a real feel good.
The thing is, it's been so long since Japanese developers have been in the limelight that outside of things like Dark Souls, where they have that very Western influence, I'm not sure what's going to be a main stage game.
Yeah.
You could throw something up there.
I just hope Sony doesn't repeat and just show us the same games that we saw last year.
Different
order.
Same games we saw at the PlayStation 4 Pro release event that they did last September.
It's speaking of things that Sony doesn't apparently want to see at conferences, what do you guys think about the Vita? Is the Vita going to be there? They going to talk about the Vita? I love the Vita. Okay, yeah. Remote play at Persona 5 is the best thing that ever happened to gaming. You guys don't even know unless you're doing it, and then you really know.
Honestly, the 3 systems I am closest to at any point in my day are my Vita, my Switch, and my 3DS, because they're all on my nightstand.
Yeah.
Because I rotate what games I'm playing when I'm falling asleep. Because it's just like, I'm having a little trouble falling asleep tonight. Might as well just pick up my Vita. I could play... what do I have in there right now is Trillion, or I could just remote play some Tales of Berseria or something.
Exactly. It's a beautiful, beautiful machine. Do you think Sony talks about it at all?
No.
Maybe.
They're not going to give it the credit it deserves.
The Western market for the Vita has been almost completely abandoned.
Yeah, it really has.
Outside of crazy people like us who understand how good it is.
It's a brutal community already, though. It's collecting frenzy. It's bad. It's a tough market.
It's good, but as much as I love the games that I play, no, not everyone's going to want to play a visual novel or a JRPG.
It lacks the standout titles. I think we'll see maybe some games on a highlight reel, but that's as far as the Vita goes on stage at E3.
Yeah, if you're a Japanese-centric gamer, buy a Vita. If not,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're the only other reason to buy a Vita, really, I see for Western audiences from talking to a lot of people is the remote play.
Yeah,
which
that is a feature for some games. Other games that have a bad control scheme.
No. I can tell for you from first-hand experience, do not play Mass Effect Andromeda in remote play. It's awful.
Just any game that needs heavy shoulder button use, it just is
not
bad.
Even Tales uses heavy shoulder buttons, but they let you use the corners of the touchscreen.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Well, yeah, that's completely understandable, though. Tales is like a well-developed game.
Well, the Vita being more popular in Japan, Japanese developers are going to put more time into interactions with the Vita.
Not hold all of the back switch thing, but you have to use it with 4 points of contact or it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So you can run, look down your sights, and do everything.
Yeah. So speaking of stuff that might be on stage, might not be on stage, VR.
They have to.
It's the advantage.
It's doing all right. Sony VR is doing okay.
Well, that thing
incredibly okay.
Well, that thing could have been. I honestly thought that thing was going to come out dead in the water, but the fact they've sold as many units as they have already is pretty
consistently something that comes and
impressive.
goes within markets, and I think they need that killer software. Do you if you're Sony, do you spend the time on your main stage showing off a AAA VR title?
Here's the
problem. Though they get that like it's lost in translation.
Resident Evil 7, that was their AAA title and it was great.
It was great.
The thing is, though, Resident Evil 7 is not going to push the sales of it because you can just play it regularly. I mean, it's not sometimes as cool as it is in VR.
Yeah. But if you're Sony, do you spend the time at conference showing off a killer VR game on stage?
I think Sony makes a first-person VR game and makes it a first-party game, and that is one of their studios. You will make a VR game. We will make a AAA one.
Is it the rumored Killzone? Or not Killzone, Resistance coming back?
That would be fun.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, if they do actually a full Resistance. But here's the thing, like, that's one of the rumors. Like, Sony, Resistance could be coming back.
Well, they have no reason to, because Resistance 3 kind of just fell flat.
Unfortunately, it's a franchise that I haven't heard anyone even whisper through the winds of the discount bins at your local GameStop.
That's like Valve.
Resistance 3.
The
echoes. But no, it's just what do you develop for VR and how do you show it on stage is a continual problem. Do you think Sony spends the time? I don't. I don't think Sony shows off.
The thing is, right now, VR is better for these little bite-sized experiences people are playing. They're buying those more than they're buying the big, fancy, full games. But, oh my god, Resident Evil 7 was so cool.
But that's the thing. You look at the games, and you look at the VR exclusive games, and they aren't as good as stuff like Resident Evil 7.
Yeah.
So you just need the right people working on the right games.
Yeah, VR has a struggle, I think, right now, and I don't know if I was Sony if I'd spend a ton of time on it, seeing the battle that you're going up against.
I'd say you list maybe a few small titles for it. If you've got a big one in your pocket, that's the time to throw the gauntlet.
But just last year alone, these are just games that are probably going to be on Sony's stage. Let's just be honest, looking at a list. You got Days Gone. We talked about it was there last year. Death Stranding.
But we need gameplay for that period.
We
didn't know what the game's about.
No, we're not going to.
We saw like 2 minutes of gameplay at the Pro conference, and then we didn't even get anything from that.
No,
it was just a guy walking around.
You're not going to know anything.
Honestly, with
why you don't even play it with a controller.
You think about playing.
Play it with your hands. While your hands are in the VR headset.
Tim Buss, it's a movie on PS4.
Yeah, it's probably gonna end up.
The only difference is you start it from the game section of your cross-media bar instead of the TV video.
Thus the biggest troll in the world was finished.
And it ends with Rick rolls.
Yeah, people would kill themselves. People were really hyped about this game. We know what this game is.
This
People
is
are
Death Stranding.
Yeah.
It strands you to death.
Maybe it's gonna get delayed for 12,000 years.
Never gonna give you.
This is not Kingdom Hearts.
But you got Detroit Become Human, which I mean, Quantic Dream. If you if you're excited about it, you're excited about it. I don't think it's gonna get any stage time at this point. I think the hype's kind of died out for it, and it just doesn't look that crazy. Dreams. You guys remember Dreams? That meteor molecule sculpting thing with the VR and 3D, stuff going on.
That would have been cool, but we haven't heard anything about it since it was announced.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. You got Gran Turismo, which is never coming out.
Nope.
Ever. Gran Turismo Sport.
I mean, if you go
I'd vote it for 2020.
I would vote it for right
PS5.
before Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
At this point.
No, it's
Whoa! Let's not get too crazy.
I think it might be out this year.
You're right. 2027 is way too far
but
away.
at this point, what do you show Gran Turismo gameplay? It's been so long.
No, at this point,
you can't waste the stage time.
If you're gonna waste the stage time, you have to play up its other things. The weekly tournaments with real F1 casters. You need to have those people on stage.
That would be cool.
Like showing you what a casting of a GT Sport game looks like.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Or have like we talked about earlier, have Sony do a live streamed GT race of a bunch of Sony people like hired by Sony to do it, and have the F1 casters casting it for just one day over E3, just a Sony GT race.
That's how you generate the hype for that game. I don't know if you can dedicate stage time to it after so long. I guess maybe now, because they think they're ready.
Well, hopefully it's out this year.
Yeah, it better be.
If it's not, I swear I'm punching some.
You got God of War, which, I mean, as awesome as that game looked, I mean, we already saw a gameplay trailer of it. They kind of already did a thing.
Well, we need a full cinematic trailer kind of showing where Kratos is at least.
Yeah, maybe give us some
answer
hints of
some
the
questions.
story. Yeah, just get us hyped
and then
on that.
show us something else besides that one level we saw.
So the one thing they can't do is show Kratos dying, because that'd ruin the story, because we'd already know he's going to be the son. Because we already know. Don't question it, we know.
Yeah, we don't know that.
No, Kratos is Rage incarnate. He's gonna live the whole game.
Yeah, the entire time.
He's gonna die, and his son becomes Rage incarnate.
I really would be upset at them if they did that right out of the gate. Like, maybe halfway through they could.
I want to see the beaten down Kratos. I mean, he's already way been beaten down, but I want to see the one who's accepted.
I want to see the relatable Kratos.
Yeah, the
Kratos I might be able to talk to before he rips my face off. Yeah. And it would be a joy.
With coffee and scones?
Yeah. So you ready to die? Yeah, sure, Kratos. It's been great.
What do you need at McDonald's? Chicken McNuggets!
He's just so angry, so this is a good looking take. Got Knack 2.
I liked Knack 1.
It's Crash Bandicoot, and yet everyone hated it. And now everyone's like, "Yay, Crash Bandicoot's coming back!" Oh, they're gonna see how similar those games really are, and they're gonna come back and be like, "Jeremy, you were right. Oh no, like we should have listened."
That's exactly gonna happen.
It's not.
Someone figure out how to write the comments in that voice exactly.
I hope so, because that'd be pretty great. So Knack 2, it's a thing. Spider-Man.
That's like gonna be their biggest gangbuster.
We need gameplay of that.
Yeah.
If they show gameplay of it, and it looks like it's going to have that great Spider-Man feel to it.
When does Homecoming come out?
I think next month. I think like July, actually. I think it's pretty soon, actually.
Is that soon? I figured
possibly.
If it was winter, I would be like, it'd be coinciding with Homecoming.
Yeah.
Because that's...
Maybe. I mean, it's going to be... I mean, Spider-Man hype year is on. It's a thing. Roll it out.
Yeah.
Webheads are in.
Perfect timing, at least. If it comes out this year after Homecoming, the kids are going to be ripe for the buying.
So, yeah, it's one of those... Spider-Man's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. But I've been excited about so many Spider-Man games.
And then they've been so let
They've
down.
been so...
I honestly don't think so. I mean...
Really? Outside of Ultimate Spider-Man, besides Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox original system was the last good Spider-Man game.
Okay, well, name me a ton of good superhero licensed games that...
Aquaman, Battle for Atlantis.
Okay.
It's not.
You said that with a straight face.
I'm real straight.
Manage that?
Yeah, real good. Superman 64.
Shattered Dimensions wasn't terrible. Edge of Time wasn't terrible.
No, I agree.
Arkham.
But I guess the game...
Batman's probably the best treatment, but Batman's always had the best treatment.
Yeah, but he's Batman.
No, I mean, 2 of his games are really good. Anyway, so Spider-Man, we're going to see a gameplay. I'm sure we have to do some kind of thing, when it comes to that. How do you make this game more hype worthy? I mean, do you just show a trailer and hope that it does its work?
You know what? You show. I don't know how they're going to do it for the bad guys, but pick one of the main bad guys, show a bit of gameplay of him web slinging around New York, and show a boss battle. Show him fighting one of the bad guys in this grand epic fight. And you'll have everyone.
Fucking Mysterio just comes out of the...
Mysterio or even Goblin. If you pull out Goblin and have it look like an amazing fight, like a chase with Goblin.
Probably get the actor for the MCU Spider-Man to introduce the game on stage. I forgot his name, I apologize.
I like him. But that young kid, whoever he is, I don't keep up with the cinemas.
And he would do
Sorry,
it.
Guys.
He would probably love to be on stage with
just,
E3.
Actually, you know what? Take it, combine the two. Take Green Goblin. Have Spider-Man chasing him as he's gotten the flyer through New York to try to track him down and stop him, or something.
I mean, that would show the web slinging, which I think is most people's concern when you talk about Spider-Man games. It's the truth.
It's what made
I'm
Spider-Man 2
personally,
and 3.
Yeah, I'm personally really excited about Spider-Man.
The only problem with Spider-Man 2,
I hope it's
where did those webs go? Are they
Well,
hanging off the sun?
Just no, because then we got realistic webs, and all of a sudden Central Park was the worst zone ever in Spider-Man 3. Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
There are ways to do it. Just Cause has shown you how you can do things with nothing to grab onto and have a lot of fun moving around.
Well, when you do it in Spider-Man 3.
You can make web little gliders. He's had them in some of the versions, in some of the comic books.
Within the proximities of what is programmed.
I had a lot more fun just doing this in the middle
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
air
I didn't care. Spider-Man 2 is don't make it too realistic. You hear that?
But make it enough to make it seem like it's not stupid, crazy, and plausible.
Yeah.
But then again,
enough.
Ultimate
Spider-Man.
The pile drivers off the Empire State Building were some of the best things in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that's true. And God, they were so dead.
No,
everyone was dead.
Yeah, actually, there's like a nuclear blast. So Spider-Man. I think we're all pretty hyped for that one. Actually, Sony, it should probably just do something pretty basic on stage, in my opinion. Just show a trailer, let it do its talking, and walk off. Probably like what they're gonna do with the next game, which is Last of Us 2.
Just drop the mic.
Go out there, mic drop, play a new trailer, not the same one, but a new one.
I don't even want gameplay trailer for this game. I just want another really good cinematic trailer.
Yeah, like I said, just go out there, play a new cinematic trailer, have that be your last show, your last game, drop the mic, and walk off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna play a lot like Last of Us 1. Spoiler. It's probably gonna have some minor little things.
Also, that's
spoiler,
a problem.
Naughty Dog. It's gonna look good. Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Naughty Dog's games are becoming a little formulaic, so I'm wondering what this game will bring to the table and bust that up, which will be interesting. But I don't think they choose E3 stage to do it. I think we just get like a strict, maybe a CG, and then they call it
just a trailer. Yeah.
They're not gonna.
It's not gonna be out probably till 2 more years. 1 more year.
No, I mean that's a Last of Us. I think it could see this Christmas release.
Really?
I think I've
Well, Sony made the year. That's their announcement. That's the biggest thing that they're
I think it almost
needs
needs to, though. Like, if you're looking at the timetables and everything that's happening
Spider-Man's
this holiday.
more important to get out this year.
Yeah, but it's more important to get out.
But it's not Naughty Dog. I mean, that's Sony just in-house studio, too. So, I mean, like these both could be out this year. Spider-Man could be out closer to the film than we think. I mean, it could be a lot further along than we think.
And the other thing they're going to need to do is, at the same time, they need to make sure they're setting up for their next spring, because it's a whole year until E3 again.
Yeah.
And I think the rumors would be really good to do that with Bloodborne 2.
Well, Bloodborne, and that's what I was going to bring up. Like, what games are you guys hoping to see announced? Because we clearly... Last of Us, Uncharted. Sorry, Last of Us is Uncharted. It is. It's a thing. Yeah, they're kind of close. So they play the same.
They look the same too. It's almost.
Yeah, it's Naughty Dog. 2 Naughty Dog games. I guess actually no. Last of Us is not this year. Uncharted will be this year, and it's only $40 from what people are saying.
That's not bad.
I'll buy Chloe for $40. I'll be that guy.
That's a steal.
It's a steal indeed. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, those are all going to get stage time, I'm sure. So what does Sony put in there? What are the sneak announcements that we're hoping for that would make that E3 2017 dream? Is it Bloodborne 2?
Well, maybe.
Is it Resistance?
I hope not.
It's probably not Resistance. What other games do you guys hope get announced?
Well, there's
new
one.
IPs.
There's one I know that's announced already. It's gonna be coming out a little bit after E3. That I just love to see it get just a tiny little bit of screen time in Danganronpa. I love that franchise so much.
But it won't. Like that's
super niche.
That's it will get a blip. It will get the highlight. It will get the Vita treatment, which we will now know the Vita treatment.
It's on Vita and on PS4 though.
Yeah, there's a lot of games though that are starting to see that cross release. That's really cool. So we're starting to get a lot of weird niche stuff on the PS4 as well as the Vita. So I think that's a cool opportunity. But I just can't think of any game that Sony could announce that will really wow me.
Honestly, I don't want another Killzone, don't want another Resistance. I want a new IP because Horizon was awesome. Make more crap like that.
Yeah, Horizon was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who couldn't play Zelda, it was probably a great game.
Let alone.
Let me just adjust my monocle.
Let alone. Maybe throw something out there. Here's the thing. You're betting on a gamble though. You have no idea how well Nier is going to perform or something like that until it comes out.
Well, Nier didn't perform that well, but it was a fantastic game.
So does Sony just have no ace in the hole then? Is there just no game that like
Here's the thing, if they've got an ace in the hole, it's so far in the hole you can't guess it until E3.
Yeah.
Well, they blew a lot of their ace in the holes last year. God of War was their biggest ace in the hole.
Yeah, and that's why I felt like it was really premature. Like Microsoft has a good thing going on this year, so I feel like Sony railed off a bunch of great shots.
But I really don't think so because
the disparities become a little too large. I think Sony
had to throw something out to counter the 1S, and that was it. People were like, "Oh, does 1S have God of War or Days Gone or
no?"
So
it's
Death
games.
Stranding.
I think games win Sony's day again. I think Sony has a good presentation. I mean,
they've got good stuff. It's just they need to show it off in a light we haven't seen before.
Yeah, I don't want it feeling samey, and I definitely don't want any statistics being spoken about. I mean, we've talked a lot about some of the sales and stuff, but I don't want Sony talking about it. I hope the days
place for it. There's no stockholder meeting.
Are gone. We still get them every once in a while. Nintendo's notoriously bad when they were still doing E3 presentations with
Square Enix.
Square, terrible offender as well, but they've had some of the worst press conferences I've ever seen.
Oh God, that was
also
awful.
some of the best. Some of the best. Moonhead Man, whatever that was. I can't remember. There's so many. It's like you were tripping out.
Well, that was the director of Nier.
Yeah, he's nuts. Yeah. And he can't deliver a speech.
Nope.
At least not in English.
That's why he wears Moonhead.
There you go. That makes sense now. So yeah, I don't think Sony really has to do anything special. I think they stay the course. They fly straight. They still do really well in 2017.
They just have to have an average E3.
They need to buckle down and weather the storm. That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see what that storm looks like, and we're actually going to be covering that storm next week. I think that storm is Nintendo, in my opinion. I think what Nintendo does this year is going to be very interesting to see. They've got sales under their belts under ridiculous amounts.
But like what you said before, Japanese development jumping on board the PS4.
Yeah.
If that's happening, then where does that leave the Switch? Because the Switch.
I think the Switch is getting those. Dragon Quest XI coming to the Switch that's a big blow to Sony in a little bit.
Disgaea 5, which has never been on anything outside of PlayStation consoles
in Japan.
I thought Disgaea had a DS or 3DS.
There was one DS remake of Disgaea 1. And that was DS remake of a PlayStation 2 game that was, 4 or 5 years old by the time it was out?
Yeah, at the very least, I think it's going to be a very big battle for Sony to really keep the Japanese market in mind. And that's why I really, like I was talking about earlier, Japanese development I think is a big part to Sony's E3. And on stage or not, they've got to show some really cool niche Japanese games to continue to do what they're doing. Because I think that's the market they're going to have the most struggle with. In all honesty, Japan's going to be a wild card.
Especially with the Switch being out and being a home console and a home console, which is...
I mean, Sony sales in Japan are even that impressive with the PlayStation 4. This is not the system that's broken everything wide open. It's still just 3DS. It's kind of miraculous. So I think Nintendo next week will be a fun discussion. And I hope you'll all join us next week as we delve into the next two topics we'll be talking about, and that's Nintendo, as well as the miscellaneous developers. I mean, a lot of people have conferences now.
Bethesda, Square Enix.
Ubisoft's
had one, but
Aisha, what's her name? Aisha Taylor?
Yeah, she just cussed a lot last year and made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
she's funny. We'll talk about how awkward that is next week.
Ah!
and a lot more E3 hype and fun to come, that's for sure. So down below, guys, as always in the comments, what are you hyped about most for Sony's E3 2017 press conference? What's the game you're hoping to see gameplay of? Do you agree with me and you're an old crotchety old man and don't want a Last of Us 2 gameplay trailer? You want a cinematic gameplay trailer? A cinematic trailer. No gameplay. I just, counteracting what I just said because I'm that old. In spirit. Maybe not. But seriously, down below, let us know what's happening with Sony in your mind and how you feel they're going to tackle this E3. Because I think it's going to be a buckle down year. Pat, I think you're really dead on accurate.
What do you guys want to see?
Yeah. Hopefully, what games do you get announced you're excited about? Bloodborne 2, I'm sure, is on everyone's lips.
You have no idea how much I love that.
It's going to be a thing.
The last full game I streamed was Bloodborne, and you know how much I love streaming that game.
I just can't see Sony ignoring the success of that franchise, and they have that IP exclusively like this, and it's Prince money, so we'll probably see something.
Miyazaki!
But do definitely check these guys out on TubeSocks. As we said last time, they are going to start posting content very, very soon.
Dragon Ball Super review.
Dragon Ball Super, I think, is going to be their first video.
So you Japanese niche fans,
so
talking Frieza in the Power Tournament of Power.
Yeah, I don't know quite what they're talking about, but I know Frieza is back, and that makes me kind of excited. So check out their videos coming soon, guys. And as always, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything to us, and we will see you next week for more E3 discussions. Remember, keep playing what you love.